Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Life Path 11. So this will be the first of our master numbers. I'm super excited to get into this. So before we start, you first want to understand how to calculate your life path number. And in order to do this, you want to break down the digits in your date of birth until you get to the number 11 in this case. So if you were getting to the number 11, you want to stop there. Don't break it down until 2. So this will be a life path 11, and life path 11 is a part of a trio of numbers which are known as the master numbers, the 11, 22, and 33, which are all about transcending the physical and gaining mastery over the spiritual in order to teach, inspire, and uplift humanity. So when I think of Life Path 11, I always think of two pillars. Life Path 11 is like a bridge between the physical and the spiritual. This is a very spiritual and intuitive number. And Life Path 11 is made up of two ones. So there is a double influence of the one, which we talked about as the one being this number of initiating, of taking charge, of leadership. So there are dynamic qualities and leadership qualities that are found in the 11. The 11, though, when it's reduced, also adds up to a 2. So this shows the nurturing and gentle qualities of the 2 that is also within this number. Oftentimes, at a young age, a life path 11 will be very much into spirituality, will be able to tap into different streams of information that is downloaded directly from spirit. So these are people who often are able to understand symbolism and find deeper meaning within the world from a very young age. These are often children who just know things without actually knowing where this information is coming from. And this nature of knowing this information oftentimes makes these children come across as old souls, but also coming across as very strange and different from the rest of the world. So there's a tendency to feel isolated or lonely also early on in life with this life path 11. Sometimes there's a tendency to want to shut off your intuition because of this feeling of isolation, because of this feeling of not fitting in. There can be a tendency to try to fit in with others, but even in those cases, you tend to stand out. And this is because a part of your life path is to stand out, to be different. Again, to be this bridge between the physical and the spiritual. As a life path 11, you typically are very sensitive. You have a lot of love in your heart and are all about peace and upliftment of the world. And so there is a tendency to be highly sensitive towards criticism and towards the injustice within the world. So this becomes all about creating a movement, a cause, inventing something that can impact the world in a positive way. As a life path 11, oftentimes your psychic abilities or intuition comes naturally to you. So you get these light bulb over the head moments, this instant connection. And because of this, you oftentimes are also very ungrounded. So there's a need to ground your energy to come back down to earth. And so this is often a number that does very well with having a connection to nature. There also can be a tendency to see through rose-colored glasses because you are wanting the best in others. You are wanting to uplift the world. So you tend to look at the positives rather than the negatives. And this can become very dangerous when dealing with other people. You sometimes can become naive and miss the negative or nefarious aspects of other human beings. So there is a need to also be aware of who you are allowing into your space. As a life path 11, you also can be very introverted. You have a tendency to flicker in and out of society. You can easily blend in and adapt to different group situations. But again, you tend to feel out of place even when doing this. So there is a tendency to retreat back into isolation. And in a way, this isolation can be good for you because you tend to become easily drained by different energies and emotions around you. You can easily attract attract the energies of other people and everything that is happening around you. And this is another reason why you want to make sure that you are grounding your energy. There's a tendency to take on other people's emotions. You're very empathic. And as a life path 11, there's also a tendency to adapt to energies around you when you are surrounded by negative people. So it is good to take some time for yourself at times because you have a tendency to constantly want to give to others. You are focused on helping others, and in this way you can neglect your own needs. As a life path 11, you also can end up receiving a lot of hatred and criticism from others at times. This is because other people are aware of this power that you possess. So there tends to be a lot of jealousy and misunderstandings being directed towards you. So you do want to be careful about taking opinions of others to heart. It is very important that you are remaining confident within yourself and not allowing others to impact you. Sometimes as a life path 11, because you are so intuitive and so tapped into the higher realms and dimensions, you also can have a tendency to become unrealistic in your expectations. And this can lead to a lot of disappointments. You tend to have a very vivid imagination, very vivid dream life, and you can be very creative and talented with this number. You also can gain fame through this number as well. But part of your life path is to focus on how you can help and make a difference rather than allowing that fame to get to your head. Sometimes if you are not aware of your power and potential, you also can become very shy and lacking in confidence. There's a need to discover who you are and what your capabilities are, to gain this level of mastery over your intuition and to trust in that intuition. It is sometimes said that life path 11s take a very long time to mature, and this can sometimes be a number that can seem younger than its actual age. So there's a tendency to not step into this personal power and development. There's a tendency to not realize your potential early on. And so with this, again, you want to take that time to yourself to develop your gifts and to use this power for the betterment of society. When you are stepping into your power, you can come across as very wise, as very inspiring. You have profound insights and vision. You are able to impact others around you easily. And so for this reason, you are a natural healer. And you may not be a literal healer through the medical field, but you have a very healing energy about you. You have a presence that is magnetic, that draws others in. So your presence alone has a profound impact on others. And you want to recognize this because there can be a tendency to become self-conscious when others are focusing on your energy or being in your presence. This can overwhelm you. As a life path 11, not only can you receive criticism from others, but you also can become very self-critical as well. Again, there's a need to boost your confidence and sense of self. There oftentimes can be a contradictory feeling with the life path 11 as well. You may feel very foggy in terms of who you are and what your qualities and characteristics are all about. Again, this is because the 11 is a combination of two ones along with that base energy of the two. So we have this one energy that is dynamic, that is forceful, that is about leadership, and we have the two that is more gentle, more reserved, more polite, more so wanting to please others. And so oftentimes when you don't step into your full power, you go into the negative traits of the two, of becoming too much of a people pleaser, of becoming too passive, unable to stand up for yourself. But when you step into your potential, you become very charismatic, very inspiring once again. You have this powerful presence and this ability to impact others around the world. As a life path 11, you also can be very experimental, very inventive. because you have a huge imagination and you are able to understand how different pieces fit together. You are able to see from a much larger perspective. And so as you are receiving these downloads through spirit, you are able to create things. And sometimes you can create something or come up with an idea that is far ahead of its time. Once again, you do want to understand how to manage your energies properly. This is a position where you want to protect your energies, where again you want to be very cautious about who you are around, but also you want to incorporate spiritual practices into your life that can help you to stay grounded and to have firm boundaries. This is a number where there is a huge need for boundaries. Not allowing others to take advantage of your kindness is a huge part of your life path. And along with this, there is a need to say no, because you have a tendency, again, to give to others. But there's a need for you to recharge your energies, to take that time for yourself. So sometimes there is a need to say no to others, to have those firm boundaries so that you are not trying to give from an empty cup. As a life path 9, you can be very much drawn towards mysticism, astrology, numerology, and you can be very much interested also in helping in larger causes and charity and humanitarian work. This is a number that is all about helping to uplift society. You also can be very disinterested in the social aspects of life, especially getting into the small talk and gossip. Again, you have this interest in spirituality and mystical subjects and transcending the physical. So you are interested in gaining knowledge and wisdom. You're not so much interested in the superficial. As a life path 11, there also is a tendency to scatter your energy and focus. Because you are receiving so many downloads from spirit and you have all of this creativity to you, you come up with many ideas that you want to invent and to express to the world. And this can take you into multiple directions where you are scattering your energy but not having a clear direction. So there is a need to find an area to focus in instead of getting scattered into these different directions. And this goes along with this need to ground yourself. Once you do put your focus and energy and you are following your intuition and your heart, you tend to become very successful and are able to, again, inspire and uplift others. It is a part of your life path to illuminate others. Another part of this, though, is to not get into your ego. There's a tendency with this position where you feel that you are very different from others. And this often comes in the feeling of being lonely and not fitting in. But you don't want to take this to a level of ego where you feel that you are greater than others. Again, there's a need to come from a space of intuition rather than a need for fame. Sometimes you can also feel very lucky because your intuition guides you in the right direction. So you can experience situations of reversals where you are getting into difficult situations, but they somehow work themselves out for you. You also can have a powerful ability to manifest things. So again, it is all about directing this power and intuition that you have into something that is greater than yourself. Decluttering your space and being surrounded by people who can help to uplift you and add value to your life becomes very helpful to you. Overall, as a master number 11, you are here to develop your intuition, to heal others, and to make a difference in this world. Some careers that are related to Life Path 11 are astrologers, shamans, mystics, psychics, musicians, artists. You can be inventors, pioneers, spiritual teachers, philanthropists, fantasy writers. This is a huge position for creativity, healing, and getting involved in charity work. This also can be a position for politicians, for psychologists, again, anything that is related to wanting to make a difference and to heal the collective.